Recently, we broke the news that Fear Haus, a web series that showcases international short horror films, is coming back with new episodes. Creator and host Blair Bathory has been hard at work with Moonshine Post-Production, producer Drew Sawyer, and producer Molly Coffey of Zombie Cat Productions for Season 2 of Fear Haus. In late January, the first episode of Fear Haus from director Andy Stewart hit over 15,000 views, and that's just the beginning of what Blair and her co-conspirators are cooking up. We spoke to Blair about the exciting things on the horizon for Fear Haus. Dread Central, when you first started Fear Haus, did you ever imagine that you'd be teaming up with such an amazing post-production house in Moonshine? Blair Bathory: absolutely not. I started Fear Haus out of necessity, as a filmmaker myself. I was directing my own short films. I realized rather quickly the lack of viable resources and platforms for genre filmmakers. I thought I could create my own that would possibly help other creators out. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd eventually be working with some of the most influential people in Atlanta. DC, tell us about how that relationship with Moonshine came about. Drew, owner of Moonshine and my partner, and I had the same sentiments when it came to indie filmmaking. We have witnessed the corruption in the industry firsthand, and I think he saw an opportunity with Fear Haus to do right by the filmmakers. Drew and the entire Moonshine team have been my biggest supporters, and I can't be gracious enough for that. DC, what's been the most surprising thing you've learned during the last few years of making Fear Haus? That you can really make something honest and with heart, and still be successful. DC, who would you say your personal influences or heroes are? Every filmmaker out there chasing their stories. I have serious respect for anyone taking the risk in making movies. It's just so fucking hard, and my admiration is why I do projects like Fear Haus in the first place. DC, do you have a favorite subgenre of horror films? Giallo films are my absolute favorite, but I also love French New Wave, like Enter the Void, Martyrs, Inside. I'm also partial to Southern horror, and actually wrote my own a couple of years ago that I'd like to direct one day. DC, did I hear right that you have 50 upcoming episodes for Season 3? We are actually aiming to shoot 60 episodes with 12 new filmmakers coming in to create our wraparounds with me. It's all happening really fast, and I am beyond honored to be working with such a talented group. DC, how else will Season 3 be different than Seasons 1 and 2? We're always trying to outdo ourselves. Molly Coffey was our first resident filmmaker, and now she's come on as producer for the next 5 seasons. We're trying to push the limit, and see how far we can take the show. It is horror, after all. Bigger, better, and lots more fear. DC, is there a certain theme to Season 3? Every director that comes in to conceptualize the wraparounds for us have very unique voices as filmmakers. They will ultimately determine the vibe of each episode. I like it this way. I always wanted to keep people on their toes with how we presented each film. When curating films for Fear Haus, what do you look for? First and foremost, I look for high production value. I have seen a lot of horror movies, and I feel like my palette is very refined at this point. I'm looking for the best. I can usually tell if I'm going to like a film within the first 2 minutes of watching it. I just know. Other than that, story of course is key, and I love diversity. I want to see every possible way you can portray fear. DC, I hear Horror Pack is getting involved with Fear Haus in some way. How so? I love Horror Pack. We've been developing some ideas together for a while. Unfortunately, everything is still top secret right now, but when the time is right I think horror fans are going to be very happy with what we're creating together. DC, do you still program shorts for film festivals? BB, absolutely. This will be my 4th year curating for Rome International Film Fest, and I am always getting asked to do more. Eventually, I want to run my own festival again, too. DC, is there anything else you'd like to talk about? BB, this May I'll be representing a very special film by director Molly Coffey that I star in. It's called Cracks, and it's screening during the 2018 Cannes Short Film Corner. Dreams come true. Also, at the end of the year I will have a huge announcement about Fear Haus, and what's next for us as a company. DC, where can fans find Fear Haus online? We release new episodes weekly on Facebook. We're also on Instagram and Twitter.